Hi, this is Life Prepper here. And the question is, do you know how to live off the land to survive SHTF or WROL? What's the difference? Shit hits the fan, things go crazy, food could become scarce, depends upon what. It could be an outbreak, it could be war, it could be a zombie deal, it could be demons, it could be anything. I'm just saying is you're like, okay, she's talking crazy stuff because she's talking about demons and outbreaks and zombies and blah, blah, blah. The point is what I'm just making a point. Many people, and a majority of people, has no knowledge on how to survive off the land and they will starve to death. Just how it is. You're going to starve to death. You're going to have food all around you and you are not going to know what to eat. Cattails in a running stream. You don't want it in stagnating water. Cattails, the root part. You can peel the outer thing and collect several of them and make a noodle out of it during a certain time of year. Also, the gel-like substance on it is an antiseptic, antibiotic-like stuff that you could use with the wounds. So you got things there you can use. You can use the cattail cotton inside of it to help insulate your clothes. The daylilies, and I'm talking about the genetically, I'm not talking about the hybrids, I'm talking about the original daylilies, the orange ones, are edible. The parts of the root is edible. You can eat some of the stem. Let me go, I can keep going on daily, dandelions. You can eat the flowers. You can eat the leaves. It's better when they're smaller than to eat them larger. The larger they get, the more bitter they are. Stinging nettle is another plant that many people talk about. There's, mugwort. There's so many plants out there that can be eaten, that can be used. Depends on what area you live in. Depends on whether you live in the western area, you live in the northern area, you live in the southern area. It pays to learn about your plants and what you can use. Did you know what I call the rooster comb? And it's called a different name, but the flower stands outward and it looks like a comb of a rooster. You got red ones and yellow ones. Did you know you could put that on to help slow bleeding down? The goldenrod that runs all over the place is good for allergies. You can make your tea from that. There's countless uses of things that can be used to help you survive an SHTF situation or a WROL. Do you have the knowledge to survive off the land in SHTF? Do you have the knowledge? Do you raise any of your plants? Do you collect any of your herbs or grass? Do you know anything about mushrooms? Do you have books to help you learn these things? It's a never-ending process. There's mushrooms you can eat. There's mushrooms you can make tea with, but do not eat any of it raw. It is not advisable to eat raw. Any kind of wild harvest mushrooms, you've got to cook them. You cannot eat them raw. It is not advisable to do it. They have to be cooked somehow, some way. Now, there might be a few out there could be probably eaten raw. I don't know if it's really advisable to do it. It is something that I prefer to cook them somehow or another, or put them in some water and boil them or whatever, or roast them, or just wrap them in something and roast them, whatever you choose to do on it. When it comes to mushrooms, the same way with some of the other plants. But do you feel it is important to know how to survive off the land in SHTF? Or are you like many of the preppers who feel that you can find enough food in the cities and things like that? Now, there's good points with it, and there's bad points with it. But you got to think about it. In the cities, people who could not receive medical treatment, who had been receiving it, who was without their medications, and the government can only do so much at a time. They'll clean up what remains they can or whatever, and they may say, okay, we're done. We're going to zone this area off. We're going to close it off. You got to go to FEMA camps, but you choose. But the FEMA camps could run out of food, could run out of medical supplies. It can get dangerous in that situation if it don't get better. So then you either try to survive with what you can or what. So that's what I'm asking you. Tell me, do you have the knowledge to live off the land in shtf? Do you have the knowledge to learn? Do you have the books with you to learn? Are you do you have anybody teaching you how to learn this stuff? This is what I'm saying. You cannot totally depend on just your whatever you have put up. It's only going to last so long, and there's going to be other people out there to take what you want. So there's going to be people out there starving. There's going to be people out there sick. There's going to be people out there dehydrated. That's going to want water and things like that. So do you know how to filter your water? Do you know how to survive off the land? This is what I'm asking you. Have you even thought about this? You know, you're an urban prepper. You're a prepper out west. You're a prepper out south. Maybe you're a prepper up north. Whatever country you're in, wherever you're at, what world, part of the world you're in, do you have the knowledge of any of this? Do you know how to take a velvet plant and strip the stalks down and make a rope out of it? Do you know how to make a lot of your stuff from nothing? Plants are very useful and using in situations, but the thing is, many of the plants on top of the surface, underneath it, has the roots to survive with. So do you know what golden seal is? Do you know what mayapple is? Do you know what ginseng is? I mean, I'm still not strong in many of the areas. It's still a learning process for me, and I'll always keep learning. But that is very important. Do you raise any of this stuff? Do you have a nature garden out there somewhere that you have created for your own personal use in an event that happens? So that's what I'm asking you. Do you know how to live off the land or survive off the land? Do you have any kind of knowledge? Have you prepared for this? This is what I want you to think about. Getting the books is number one issue here. I mean, you got to get the books and learn. Getting out there with somebody that knows more about it. Constantly teaching yourself how to survive in a situation. Do you have a nature garden set up? Do you know where some plants growing? I know where some bloodroot grows. I transplanted some of it, so I know where it grows at. I know where it grows in some other areas. Point is, do you know wild ginger? What about wild ginger? Do you know where wild ginger grows? Do you know how to harvest? Do you know what wild ginger looks like? So I'm asking you all these questions. Do you know how to live off the land and survive in SHTF? If you don't, and you question it, and there's still a lot to learn, you need to get the books. You need to start researching. You need to take time to go out and take pictures and identify these plants and stuff, because things can get pretty bad. And another thing, that's free food out there. If you're on a budget, go out and collect that mugwort, and you can make mugwort soup and stuff. You can make a mugwort tea. Uh, Go out and collect some of that wild ginger and use it for make you some ginger tea, and use it for spices, and use it as an antibiotic to help with it. Go out and collect that goldenrod flowers and make your tea for allergies and things like that. Go out and collect those dandelions. You know, there's more things. There's so much out there that's free food in a situation. So I'm asking you to think about this. A lot to think about, ain't it? Because I'm every day learning, and I still don't know everything. I would eat creeping Charlie during the winter, because up in the year, because it would still be growing. I mean, it would grow way on up in the year until it finally froze out. I would eat the leaves and stuff to help with a cold and things like that. Do you know what bone set is? So I'm asking you to think about all this. Think. Do you know any of this? This life prepper here, I want you to be safe, be happy. Bless you all. And do you know how to live off the land and survive SHTF?